When was the last time you questioned your relationship with alcohol? Because for me, I'm coming up to 1 year alcohol free, and it's completely changed the way that I look at drinking. My guest today, Sam, has definitely been on his own journey in regards to alcohol. Earlier this year, Sam and his brother Olly decided to ride over 500 miles from Bristol to Fort William to raise money for Alcohol Change UK. They managed to raise over £8,000. 8,000. And they did so in memory of their dad, who unfortunately had his own struggles with alcohol. But today's conversation is more than just about alcohol. We talk about what the ride meant to them, how losing their dad changed the way that they now think about drinking, and why we believe the culture around alcohol and drinking is changing within society. Today's conversation is more than just about drink though. It's something that I really wanted to try and highlight more when I started this podcast. It's just two 30-something-year-old blokes sitting down having a chat and just being honest about what they've been going through and what they're feeling. And I really want to sort of highlight this point that whoever you are, wherever you're from, whatever you're going through, you can just sit down and have a chat with someone. And I guarantee you that off the back of it, you will feel better. It may not fix everything, and it may not even make you feel better forever, but I guarantee it will help in the short term. And the way I look at it is, if you can do enough things that help in the short term, it'll buy you enough time to figure out how to help yourself in the long term. I really hope you enjoy today's episode. I really hope that it provides you some value. It maybe teaches you something, or at the very least makes you question some of the choices that you maybe make in your life. And by making you question those choices, maybe you can make some positive change. You and your brother decided to ride from Bristol to Fort William, yeah?
Yeah.
And how many days did it take you?
So 7 days, yeah.
7 days, mad. Was that 7 days riding?
So 7 days riding, and then at the end of it, we had a couple of days family time.
Yeah,
so
nice.
That was nice, yeah.
So yeah, how far was it then?
So it was 800k, 500 miles.
Mad.
But yeah, we give or take, it was about 100k a day, but we made sure we ticked over 100 each day.
Yeah, just to get the Strava points,
Yeah.
Class.
Yeah.
And mate, I need to get this out there early. How much money did you raise? Because it's epic.
Oh mate, yeah, it was class. So it was £8,300, which is like so good.
Yeah,
and
unreal.
Massive thank you to everybody that followed and supported us along the way in any way. It was wicked.
It's mad as well, isn't it? Because obviously, for everyone that doesn't know, then me and you, and obviously I played with your brother as well. We played ice hockey together for a long time. So I know you and your family pretty well, but I know that obviously when you were doing it, you could just see the amount of people that were donating, and it's people that picked up the story that didn't even know you and stuff like that. How was that?
Yeah, it's good. You check in naturally as much as you could. Obviously when you're cycling all day, you can't keep up with it. But towards the end, you were looking, and it was mad how the story, and I tried explaining to people that sometimes as much as the money was insane, the messages that we got from people meant more than anything.
Yeah.
Because it just showed that it resonated with other people.
Yeah.
And obviously who we were riding for.
Yeah.
So
we might as well say it. Who did you ride for?
So we were riding for a charity called Alcohol Change.
Yeah, sick.
And we lost our dad a couple of years ago to what ultimately was alcohol. They just seemed like the best people.
Yeah.
We had a little search around, and obviously spoken to you about it before, that we didn't know about them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I think that's, as you say, unfortunately, I think that is the saddest thing with a lot of this stuff. So many people like you go through something like losing your dad to something like alcohol, and then it's after the fact that you almost do the research to find out what help is out there. It's kind of weird, isn't it, how that
gives
happens?
you, I don't know, like maybe either it's the grief or you have like this reflection time.
Yeah, it's like you start to look at things through a different lens, don't you? Weirdly.
Yeah, I don't know how, but we basically, I mean, it kind of came up for like me and my brother were just like, we need to do something, and then we were like, let's raise money. I can't remember how it came around, but then we were like, oh, we know he loves cycling, like maybe that's what we should do.
Did he? I never knew that about your dad.
Yeah,
Did he cycle?
Yeah. So he always used to tell us about like how he used to fix bikes.
Oh, sick.
And then flog them.
Nice. Yeah.
When he was young, and I think that's how he just kept himself busy. Like he had two older sisters, and they left the house, so he like left as adults, and he was still just tinkering with bikes and then flogging them. So then like as he grew up, he used to do big bike rides.
Yeah.
So,
Wicked, mate. Oh, I never knew that about your dad. Yeah. So, and I guess it's 100% worth noting, you and your brother do not cycle.
Nah. So like that is the thing that was mad about it. Yeah, like we like my brother definitely didn't cycle.
Yeah.
Like he hadn't, when it came up to this and he got on a bike for the first time. Well, first of all, he had to buy one.
Yeah.
He had to buy a bike. He hadn't been on a road bike, so he had no idea what to expect. And he was literally like, "I'll just buy a bike and that'd be it." And then he ended up buying all the gear, like
literally no idea.
Yeah, literally no idea. Like everyone, like in that little group chat, was like giving him grief. Yeah, and then I did a little bit. I dabbled, but not anything more than, I don't know, 30, 40 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Can you remember when you sort of decided to do the cycle? Like, how long did you have to like train for it, to like plan? Because obviously you did it all like self. It wasn't like a official event or anything. You self-planned it, right?
So like basically, it came from, I was like, oh, we should do like maybe from Slough, which is where we started playing, to Bristol, and then kind of having a rough idea about a day's worth of cycling and what that would be like, and then. Olly was like, we've got to go big. We've got to go big. I was like, are you sure? Yeah, we've got to go big. So,
coming from the guy with no bike.
Yeah. He was like, let's go Scotland. And I was like, all right. Yeah, I'm on that. And then, then it came from there. And then we like talked about, because we went on a holiday with him. So when I reckon Olly was about 19, 20, and I was 2 years older than him. So we, like, Dad just jumped in the back of the car and then just whipped out the map. I was like, we'll go here today, boys. And then away we went. And we were like, oh, he's planned somewhere. Rocked up at these like not Airbnbs, they were genuine B&Bs.
Yeah.
And he was like, just leave it with me, boys. Just knocked on the door. He hadn't booked, he hadn't rang, nothing. But yeah, it was good. It was just such a class like holiday. And we stayed at Fort William, was the first place.
Yeah.
So that's just where we chose.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was good. And we, like, Olly talks about it, I talk about it, Dad used to talk about the holiday like all the time.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. And then we kind of like worked our way back. Lake District we went to on that same holiday. Yeah, so we kind of like worked our way back and just made it up as we went, really.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah, proper nice, man. So with the ride then, like, you set off, I mean, I was there like seeing you off, but you set off from Bristol Ice Rink. And then obviously like you sort of work your way up to Fort William over the 5 days, yeah? I need to ask, and like, I kind of already know, but like, how was it spending, if anyone's ever done any sort of endurance race, they'll know that it starts off really, really fun and there's a horrible bit in the middle where you're just in the trenches, right?
Yeah.
How was it being around your brother when you was in the trenches? Because I've played hockey with you both, so I know you're both very different.
Yeah.
And I can imagine, and I've seen it happen even at hockey, the bickers and the like arguments and whatever. How was that? Was there any of that, or was it all positive vibes?
No, do you know, it was just always positive. Yeah, we both like had each other's back. Like, yeah, it was good. It was always positive. Like and do you know what as well? I have to like shout out to him because I think a lot of people doubted him.
Yeah.
And he grafted. He trained hard. Like we both did. And I'm so glad that we did, like mainly out of like fear that we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, the one thing I can do is be fit enough for this.
Yeah.
So we just trained, and we probably overtrained, but it meant that like I enjoyed the ride,
Yeah.
and so did he. And so like the pits that were like, I don't know, the trenches was like minimal because it was just like, oh, it's just rough road, the wind's in your face, but I feel good.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm downplaying it a little bit, but like we knew that we could do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I always felt the whole way through, I knew that Ollie could do it. He knew that I could do it, and it made it better.
Yeah. It's magic though, isn't it, mate? Like I'm actually like, you know, I don't have a brother, but like I'm genuinely sort of like envious because I think like, you know, doing something like that with your brother in memory of your dad
Yeah,
to Fort Williams where like you've already got that magical memory of the place. Like, I don't know, mate, it makes me warm inside, bro. Like genuinely, like it excites me. Like as I said to you, mate, like before you were going, like if I didn't have this run and stuff, I'd have loved to just like tag along for a bit and stuff.
Yeah, no, mate. We knew that you'd be there, and like we're kind of glad that you didn't, in a way, so that you could keep yourself protected for what you're doing.
Yeah, but yeah. How was it then, like when you sort of got to Fort William and obviously like you had that like little bit of family time?
Yeah.
How was that? Because that must have been a mix of emotions, I guess. Like
Yeah, like you can swear a lot on this, right?
yeah, bro, you do what you want.
It's
yeah.
fucking hectic, mate. It's fucking hectic. Like I gotta say, like one thing I would say is like each day, the way we planned it was like, so the first 2 days, we were like, the first day we knew it was going to be a buzz, like we'd be on our way. So we stayed at like a little pub, like stayed there, had some food, got an early night done, and then the next day we were meeting. Some of the boys came up,
Yeah.
and then we went from there. So then we had a bit of a buzz with them, like riding the day.
Yeah.
And then we had some food with them. They stayed the night. And the next day they did half the day with us.
Yeah, nice.
And then they actually stayed on a bit further. They jumped off at the train where we stitched them up a bit. Like we were in like full like alcohol change, like and like I would talk about it later, but like wearing all the like geared up, and it was the Liverpool like celebration parade.
Right.
And the whole Preston like station was just rammed.
Mad.
Yeah, and like the boys, we just jumped off, like left them, and then we had to go.
So they're all there lycra'd up with their bikes. Quality.
Yeah, and it was just a sea of red. It was mad, and we weren't even in Liverpool. But yeah, and then we left there onto the Lake District, and I'd say that's probably where Ollie cracked.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, but we knew from that day though. So like to keep the momentum going, we were meeting up with our families then. So that day the girls were driving up with the kids, and then we were going to meet them at our kind of like first pit stop. But yeah, that day we had probably about 2 hours, I reckon. I don't know. I want to say it was 2 hours, maybe been an hour, but it felt like 2.
Yeah.
But it rained a lot, like bad. It was bad rain, and I could just see that Ollie was like, "I've had enough now."
Yeah.
But yeah, just of that day, like. But yeah, and even then we just went like, what you can do, you got to go.
You're in it now, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and then the next day we were like going to make the border of Scotland. So there were always like little motivations. Each
little
day.
wins, yeah.
So that was quite cool. But yeah.
Yeah, it must have fired you up as well. Like obviously when like your daughter and like Ollie's kids and stuff were there, like how was that like?
Yeah, like so we planned it hoping that they would, but realistically like the moving from place to place was just mental. So like it just didn't really work. But they were there at the end, like, and that was sick. Like that was a bit almost surreal.
Yeah.
Like to get to the place where there's like a little statue of a bloke like with his legs crossed in Fort William.
Right. Yeah.
And I remember it so clearly that we went there, like parked up the car or whatever with Dad, and I remember like that picture. I've got a picture of me next to it, and then to me that was like our finishing point.
Yeah.
But it was really, like, I went silent. I didn't really, like, and so did Ollie. Like, neither of us really spoke, like, when we first got there.
Yeah.
And just kind of soaking it all in, just to have, like, our kids there. Or even, like, our families, like, just have everyone there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird moment.
Yeah.
But wicked.
Yeah, it's mad. Like, as I said, mate, like, I can't, I guess in some ways I kind of can imagine, but yeah, it's like, it was just all highs and lows for you, isn't it? Because it's like you have the stress of the ride, like the pain of the ride. You got to do all of that.
Yeah.
But then it's you know, you get there and it's kind of that bittersweet moment because it's like, oh, we've done this for Dad and Dad's not here. But oh, look, like our families, like our kids are here, and it's like, oh my God, and we've raised all this money for charity.
Yeah,
it's like
mad.
Yeah.
And like also, do you know what? Like that week went so quick.
Did it?
Honestly, it went so quick, and I think because it was almost like 2 years of planning.
Yeah.
And then 2 days into the ride, because you spend the whole day on the bike, and then you sit down and you're like, we're here in the map already.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know, but mate, it was like, it was almost like it was just constant high, like the whole way. And then when we got to the end, I had such a weird feeling because I thought I'd be like screaming, jumping off a bike, like, come on.
Yeah.
But I just was a bit like shell shocked.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the next couple of days that I really like took it in.
Yeah, like processed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a couple of nights with Olly, and then me and Ellie and Bonnie went into a hotel and just sort of stayed there for a couple of days, just to have a bit of like a downtime.
A rest from your brother.
Yeah. Give each other a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good, mate. It was good. But I think it wasn't until then, that, like almost 4 days later, that I was like, oh, Jesus, like this is what we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it like after you got home and like parked the bike up and?
Yeah, sad. Sad.
Yeah.
I was like,
Was it?
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, every day I was like, it almost became like your identity. Like, it's what you're doing. I mean, like you must have it now. Like you're running every day.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're resting for your next run.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing with the cycling. I was looking to do the next big bike ride, ready for it. And so now like I'm sort of looking for not the next thing, but like I definitely want to stay involved. And I've spoken to the charity and said at some point when I get the right idea, the right thing, I'll do something.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of going to ask you that, like, and I guess this is, if I'm being completely honest, almost like a bit of a selfish question, because as you said, like, you know, I kind of got my run coming up and stuff, and it kind of, the run for me is like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's almost like it helps you almost keep like your dad close, and like for me to keep my nan close, kind of. And it's almost like, for me, it's been like trying to channel what could very easily become like sad and negative feelings into like positive. Yeah. Not just positive for myself in terms of like I'm working towards something, but because I'm doing it for charity, it's like for others, like I'm able to, I don't know, contribute to a wider, to more people that I guess are probably feeling the same as either how my nan was or how their families are for how I'm feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was gonna like, weirdly, when you started like saying that, I was gonna say exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that was, when I say sad, I was like, I don't want to put a negative spin on what we did.
Yeah.
But I think there was a huge element, and definitely for like a couple of weeks after, where I was like, is that going to be the end of people talking about Dad? And I didn't want that to be the thing. Yeah. Because I was like so buzzing about what we'd done, and it allowed me to speak positively of Dad. Yeah. Like we're going to Fort William because we had this amazing memory. Yeah. And like I can't sugarcoat it. Like we had tricky times with Dad, and I don't really want to share that for any other reason other than, like, it took me a lot to share it, basically. And like we had lots of chats, like we went on a few runs and whatever and just chatting away. And I found the whole process quite tricky to share stuff because I wanted to keep him, or like his legacy, as like a positive thing. Yeah. And I found the ride as like a easy way to do that because he had troubles, but I can talk about, like, I genuinely believe that charity would have been the reason. If there ever was going to be a reason, it would have helped him. Yeah. Because he was such a stubborn bastard. Like, if you said, don't do it, he would have done it. He'd have doubled down, yeah. Yeah, which is also like a lot of blokes. Like, yeah. And I think in some ways, mate, like, I don't think that has to be like a negative. No. I think it's just like learning how and when to use that as a positive, and using it the right way. Yeah, right. Yeah. And no, 100%. But like the thing that, so this charity, like, I didn't know about it, and so many people have said I've never heard them. So many people who have said it who need to know,
Yeah.
or have said like, I know this person, I'm going to let them know about it.
Yeah.
And those are the messages that like were worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
I think it's such a personal thing that like I didn't want to share it because I wanted to, because I was like proud of it, but then I was like, oh, it's personal.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that Dad would have like, because it's just fact, like a lot of it's just based around knowledge, a lot of it's based around like research, and it's about like just curbing your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which like before we start talking like on here, but a minute ago we were saying like how our lifestyles have changed.
Yeah, massively,
And
mate.
that's their goal.
Yeah.
They're not like, I mean, it's in the name. Like,
Yeah.
I just worried after how it would affect, like still talking about Dad.
Yeah.
Like, and bringing him up.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, like, I completely understand. Going forward, you didn't want every time somebody mentioned your dad's name or thought about your dad for it to then basically just be linked to his struggles with alcohol. You wanted people to still remember him as the bloke that we all knew and loved, right? And like all the happy memories you had with him.
Yeah, but do you know what, mate? Like even just remembering him.
Yeah.
Which is like mad, but like,
mate, everyone will remember him though. Like,
yeah,
he was a fucking good bloke, man. I loved him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it creeps in your head, doesn't it? It
Yeah,
does creep
of course,
in your head.
man. Yeah.
And no doubt, it probably will happen to you as well. But then, like, even I've never thought about this until we're chatting. But like, the legacy of like your nan, of my dad, they do just live in through like
they live through us, mate.
And our story. So
100%.
I've never thought of it like that before. But
and one thing that I've like sort of, like really realised like with my own situation with my nan is, and maybe this happened to you, that I know it's so sad and it's horrible that it has to be this way, but after they've gone, everything they ever tried to teach us and all the wisdom that they ever tried to impart on us, it's almost like it feels like in an instant, but it wasn't. It's been like a process to understand it all, but I now sort of almost realise everything my nan was ever trying to teach me, and it's like it losing her completely changed me, because it woke me up to like all the positives that she had tried to teach me, but not teach me through words, teach me through like moments that I've spent with her. And yeah, I don't know if that happened to you at all, but like, I guess after you lost your dad, like all of a sudden you start to think about like all the times, right? Like everything. And for me, I was able to like really start to think about like all the like almost like hidden messages that like she had been teaching me throughout my whole life. And even whether you thought about it or not, maybe that's how you kind of come to the realization to like do the bike ride and like, I guess like to like help others. Because like when I first met your dad and like knew your dad, he was like genuinely just like a kind, generous person. Yeah, losing people really makes you like reflect on, just them, I think. And
you know, like our one was like a weird one. So like where I had like a life-changing thing. So I lost him, and then a couple of months later we found out about having Bonnie.
Yeah.
And it was just mental.
Yeah.
And it, like at the wake of Dad, like the way that the timeline went, like I don't know what I believe in, what I don't believe in, but Ellie was pregnant then, and I feel like that's like I don't even know what I can describe because I don't know what I believe in.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's a thing, that's a sign.
No, I know what you're saying, mate. Yeah.
Whatever, like everyone's got their own thing that you believe.
Mate,
but like it is a thing, and I think for me, my like lessons and the things that I think if you grieve, you look or you end up searching for something, whatever that is, whoever you are, like you end up searching. I think for me it was like about being a dad, and it was like lessons that I've learned from him one way or another, and some of it is good, some of it is bad.
Yeah.
But I was just determined that I was going to be the best that I could be for Bonnie.
Mate, I love that, mate. Yeah. Also, I did an episode with Smithy the other week, and we sort of spoke about, like how we want to be parents and me and him had kind of similar childhoods, but very different at the same time. But without getting too much into that, mate, yeah, I 100% understand what you're saying, because the year I lost my nan, Hardy lost her nan, we got married that year, there was like just like a series of events that happened. And at the time it was like the walls were crumbling. But then now on reflection, as you said, you look at weirdly like the positives and the negatives of it. And I have now, first of all, I started to look at it all of like, how do I just want to change my life? Everything I've learned, whether positive or negative, how am I going to take all that and just make my life better? That was like the first thing I started doing. But then obviously, like as like me and Hardy are expecting, I've now really deep dived into that. Like as you said, like everything my nan taught me, my parents have taught me, my step parents have taught me, good or bad. That is, I've sat here many, many times and like consciously thought about like how I'm going to be as a parent. And I guess that's kind of what I was trying to say, is like, it's so cruel that like you have to almost lose someone that you care about so deeply to like learn that. It's like, because it's like, if me and you would have been sat here and 5 years ago, somebody that had been through that grief was trying to explain it to us.
Yeah, I'd look at them brain dead. Like,
yeah, bro. Like
So I just don't think you. Well, no, that's a lie. Like I would have, like obviously, and so would you. Like, but what I mean is, I wouldn't have been able to like soak it up.
Yeah, you can.
'Cause you can't until you.
Yeah.
Are in it. I don't think it's necessarily losing someone always, but like.
Yeah,
I just think. I just knew from like there was a combination of things like seeing Dad that unwell.
Yeah.
Like was quite humbling. And it really drummed home. Society tells you that alcohol's not good for you, but actually, or like the facts research tell you, sorry, but society tells you different.
Yeah.
And like to see, obviously Dad was in specific care, and most of those places, like you're in amongst people with similar or like, and do you know what I mean? It was very humbling to see Dad.
Yeah.
And most of people like yourself would have seen Dad like a few years ago, and his health deteriorated in 5 years, 6 years. And one thing I would say is I have been, because I was trying to think like what kind of things like can I talk about, like what things can I kind of like share. One thing I definitely have been very lucky to have like mates around me.
Yeah.
And I've been like I probably am a bit of an oversharer, but like
I don't think that's a bad thing though, mate. Because does it help you to share?
Like because of it, it's meant that I've been like maybe sometimes I've like, oh, I wish I should have dialed that back a bit. But do you know what? Like share, like it's definitely helped me out.
Yeah.
Like definitely, and like through some stuff that I was going on, like it wasn't just stuff with Dad. Like I had different things going on at different points. But sometimes, like you said, you just get a run of events where it just feels like everything's too much.
Yeah.
Having a couple of people to outlet was been like so good.
Yeah, mate. It's class, mate. Like, you know, like I've openly said on this many times, like I was actively like trying to pull myself out of like a really dark hole. And obviously like the boys, Reese and George, shout out, they obviously sat up beyond the chair, and like the first time I went there, or like the first couple of times I went there, man, like I sat there like crying my eyes out and stuff, and it's just like I didn't feel as if I could be that way with I didn't feel like I could be that way with like my family, because I felt as if my family needed me to be strong because we were all going through it or had been through it. And then a lot of my friends hadn't lost like that. So I was just like, I've tried talking to them a bit, but like they don't get it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then, yeah, I ended up going there, and I'm not saying it like fixed me instantly, but like it, just being able to like talk out loud and process out loud like what I was feeling inside was like the best thing I ever did. Like it all made.
And sometimes it's just I don't know. I've interrupted you, mate, but like sometimes like chatting about one tiny thing of what you think is the big problem is here, and you're talking about the small thing.
Yeah.
It just make it I don't know, it relieves it, or like it could be the difference of just having that tiny chat. Like,
Yeah. Did
you can't solve it, but
you can't. But
it does start the ball rolling. And I think when you were just chatting earlier, I think like about the whole bike ride, like all the parts of it, it was never like one big thing. It was just like a ball rolling the whole time, and it just gained momentum. So it became, let's do a bike ride for Dad. Let's do it for charity. So then we started looking for charities. We found the right one, and then it became like, okay, let's raise a little bit of money for it, and then that became bigger, like on its own, on its side. And then we talked about like, oh, okay, let's get some support. Let's try and rate, like, if we're doing it, fuck it, let's just try and tell as many people about it as possible. And so the awareness side came into it, and we tried to do whatever we could, and made some horrific Instagram like posts and stuff. But
so hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh mate, like how you're doing this with people, like I don't know, like I can't. It took me ages to do like one little clip. Some of it was just a picture, and I just could, But like doing that, and then it became like contacting people to see if they could help out, and I got into it like a lot, and trying to do it. Yeah, and then along the way, like all of that stuff, and then like our views of like alcohol and how like we kind of changed around it. Like, I don't know, like the whole thing just kept growing.
I just want to say, like, for the record, firstly, I think your dad would be extremely proud of everything you and your brother did. I just want to say that before I forget to say it. I know I've said it to you before, but he genuinely would, mate. Like, he would be so proud of what you and your brother did. But I want to touch on, like, a couple things. I think it's really, really inspiring that you effectively were like able to like work through the grief, because I think it's evident, not just from the people that I know, but just I think like society at large, that people don't allow themselves to grieve because it's really fucking hard, isn't it? Like, and I'm like, it just sounds really weird, but like, I'm really like proud of you that like you were able to do it, like, because I know how hard it is, right? And like, I've seen people, to be honest, close to me, just not allow themselves that, and they've just like, weirdly enough, 9 times out of 10 chose something like alcohol to suppress it, right? And I think it's really amazing, mate, that like you and your brother you allowed yourself the time to grieve, but then like you took all that pain and energy into, like, as we said earlier, like doing this bike ride and like creating positive out of that. I think that's inspiring. Like, that fires me up, that like you and your brother doing what you did without you even knowing. I don't know if I've even said this to you before, but like helped me with what I went through, because it's almost like, well, if you two are doing it, then I can do it, sort of thing. And I think like that 100%. Ripple effect is massive. But one thing I did want to sort of ask is, you and your brother obviously did this ride together and stuff, but like, and I know you said like talking about it helped you, but like, did you and Olly talk much about it, or not really?
About that?
Yeah, and just like what you were feeling at the time, like the grief and stuff afterwards.
I think we're two different personalities, like, definitely. And I think one thing that definitely happened like the whole way through was like, I knew if I needed to, like he had my back, like I could ring him.
Yeah.
And the same for him. I think right when it was fresh, it was just like, how you feeling today?
Yeah.
Like, how you feeling today? Like repetitive questions, but just like actually genuine, like, how is it? And then, and you know, like there'd be just different things that would just catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Like, I think we've gone out for like food and stuff, like on his, like after I've like jumped miles in, but like, yeah, just in the fresh of it and the thick of it. Do you know what? One thing, like, it's so hard to describe, but like the week after Dad passed, we all had 2 weeks off work, and some of it was to sort like admin stuff out for, which is like a weird thing to say.
No, but there's a load of
truth.
Yeah.
The other side of it is like, it was just having some time to like go through it.
Yeah.
And we spent it all together every day.
Yeah, that's so nice, man.
And do you know what? Like I look back at that like week, 2 weeks, and I'm like, it was so good.
Yeah.
To have each other.
Yeah.
Like Ollie's got at the time he had a little boy, and he was a massive distraction, like a good positive distraction, because like kids are nuts, like running around.
Yeah.
And he was wicked. So, and it gives you a focus point. But then also like once he'd gone to bed, like we could all have time to like chat and go through stuff. And my dad's like lifestyle meant that there wasn't tons, certainly of his possessions, which in a weird way meant that we could just go through it all and be like, these were the things that we had. But we went through it in those 2 weeks, like over and over, and just like soaked it all in. Like, it was mad to know how much of private stuff that Dad had.
Yeah.
Which he didn't want us to know, and I wish he told us. I wish he shared of us.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, did you find out things about him that like you never knew and stuff?
Yeah, mad things. Which like I don't like they're very private, and I won't share.
No, of course.
But mad, and I wish, and I'm like, why didn't you tell us that?
Yeah,
because they were like all positive, all good things, and it's just that like such a stereotypical thing to say, but like a man of his age just didn't want to share his feelings and things, and because essentially most of the things that we found out were all around like feelings, and I'm just like, you're mad, like I wish you shared that with us, like it's
but then again, mate, do you think maybe that in like some weird way, like by him not doing that and then you finding it all out, it's allowed you to maybe learn to open up a little bit? And
but I think also we learned, like me and Ollie kind of learned that anyway through growing up, and just knowing that Dad would never say like too much. Like one of those, if you poke the bear, like if you asked Dad too much, he would be like, and not like in a rude way, like he wasn't like angry or anything, like, but he was just like, he just shut up, or he was king of diverting, which kind of like links to like the alcoholism, like is also what, generally speaking, they're like he was shifty about it.
Do you mind me asking, like, what was growing up, like what sort of was not necessarily just like your dad's relationship, but like what was alcohol within your household and stuff? Because like, for example, like for me with my family, as I told you, like Bailey's coffee in the morning are standard. Like that's not even deemed as alcohol in like my family home. And I'll openly admit this. Like I used to like finish school at like 15, 16, come home, have a beer with my parents. Do you know what I mean? Like that was like deemed normal. How was it sort of like in your house growing up?
So I never really thought about it until like 20s. Maybe even later. Like, I don't know when it really clicked. I used to joke. Like, it used to be a joke that we would know, like where's Dad?
Yeah.
We had a bit of a joke at the time, and it felt like a joke that if I needed Dad, I knew in between a certain pub time he'd be at this pub. Next time he'd be at this pub, and next time, it's after 6. He's going to be here.
Yeah. And
where we lived was like a little green, and I was like. It was funny at the time, and then as I got older, I was like, it's not like, it was not okay.
Yeah, but I think it's like growing up is like.
But you grow up and it's like
it's normal to you, right? And like this is, I've had this conversation like many times with people recently. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and it's only until. Like, I don't know, maybe like you get married and you start to like create your own normal.
Yeah.
That you then start to be like, oh, actually, like all this stuff that was normal for me as a kid kind of isn't. Like other families don't do that. And like,
but then you hear other stories of other families, and it's like, yes, the other end of the spectrum. And you're like, oh, okay. Maybe we're like, my family's a bit boring. Like, but that's how it's sold, isn't it? If you drink, you're fun. If you don't drink, you're boring.
Yeah,
and that's like a big problem.
Massive problem. And I
definitely have fallen into that trap as well. Like,
Oh mate, yeah,
If
like
that's what you're going to say. Yeah.
like drinking. I think British culture, and I guess some degree like the Western culture is drinking is like a badge of honor, and like, well, as you know, like you've seen me in a pickle many times, but like a massive part of my personality was just like, oh, Gallia can drink a lot, and like
Yeah.
there's many times that I've been introduced to people for the first time on like a night out, and people have literally introduced me and be like, you won't out drink him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like,
But I mean, we talk about the running becomes your identity.
yeah,
Like, I think that that becomes your identity, and then you become that person.
yeah,
Like,
and then
I'm not saying that was you or like, but like I just think that is part of the problem.
yeah, I
It's
understand
like
what you're
it's
saying.
kind
Yeah.
of like multi-layered, isn't it? It becomes, you don't want to be boring.
Yeah, and then once people start to see you as that thing, it's harder to step away from it because it's like, well, then what
Yeah.
am I? Like,
Yeah.
like everyone's accepted me as,
This
oh,
person
I can drink
drinks.
a lot and blah blah blah. So then, if you decide to make a change for yourself, are people then going to judge me for?
Changing, or like
Yeah.
it's boring now.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. Yeah,
But like and I think as well, like I don't know how well the people that hear or watch this, but like obviously we grew up in hockey, and hockey was like probably like a lot of team sports, but I'd never played past the
I
age of
always
11.
sort of try and explain it to people. It's kind of like rugby culture. I think it's very close to that.
I reckon it's similar, but it was just like mad. Like so for me, when obviously I had that kind of like as, for example, my dad, but then for me it was slightly different because when I was 18, like I am epileptic, and that was when I had my first fit,
Yeah.
and so I basically didn't drink for about 2 years.
Oh, didn't you? I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't drink. So it was either just before my 18th or just after, but I didn't drink out of like fear.
Yeah.
I was like, and I've always like said to Ellie, like, I just like, my missus, like, I just like really struggle with talking about epilepsy. And I battened down the hatches, like, I'm not drinking. Because they said one of the things that could happen is if you drink.
Right.
So I was like,
Well, it can be like a trigger for a fit.
yeah.
Or something.
And I had lots of tests and stuff, and all my mates went out clubbing, and I was like, I wanted to go with them.
Yeah.
But I can't. And then eventually I was like brave enough to go out with them. And then eventually I like had one beer. Eventually I had a couple.
Yeah.
Like get on the WKDs. like, and then like, I don't know. And then very similar, like I was a big like lad for my age then.
Yeah.
And then like you drink,
It's
obviously
like,
your tolerance goes up.
Yeah, it's like to your detriment.
And then,
You can handle
even
your
though
booze.
I've like lived 3 years in absolute fear, wouldn't tell anyone it was fear, but it was fear. I was like, oh no, it's because I'm playing hockey, like as if I'm going to go to the NHL.
Yeah.
But I'd said that because I just didn't want people to know that I was like scared. And then I'd have 1 or 2 drinks. Obviously, you lose all like thinking and awareness. You must start making stupid decisions. So I just kept going, and then it becomes who you are.
And it's almost like,
And
it's like the thing you're good at.
Yeah.
Weirdly. Like,
Yeah, and I don't think. Well, it's the thing you want to be good at, because if you want to be good at it, because then Sam's a better drinker than Josh.
Yeah.
Or the other night Sam drank way more than Josh. Like, and it becomes that. It's always one-upping, especially with. I'm like, it's not just boys, because girls definitely do it.
Yeah, but I think especially in like as you said earlier, like men that play sport.
Yeah.
It's like.
Well, they're just a competitive culture.
Yeah.
But, and I'm sure it's the same. Like, I'm sure it's the same with girls. But I can only say it from what I've seen in my lived experience. And with the boys, it was constantly, he's done 1 beer, okay, let's do 2. Oh, we've both sank that one, let's get another one then.
Yeah.
And then someone would tap out, and you'd be like, oh, he's boring.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not having any more. He's a lightweight.
Yeah.
And that is also what you've like grown up to see, because you don't just do it for, like, you've learned that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's learned behaviour, yeah.
Like, you're learning it from someone. And then I think like hockey, like we were chatting, like the games, like as soon as you get to our like sort of the levels that we played at, you get the beers, you have one, you sit in the bus, you have one.
Yeah.
If you're not driving, you
like 12.
you just keep having them. Yeah.
Like it's a funny one for me. Like talking about like drinking. Obviously, I'm coming up to a year sober, You drink a little bit now? No?
I like have one or two, but my drinking has definitely changed.
Yeah,
like, massively.
And you have done stints sober, aren't you? Like obviously
Yeah. Without like
before like 18 and like your epilepsy bit, like you've done other stints.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is like, I find I don't want to sound as if I'm being a hypocrite towards like drinking and stuff, because like some of my like lifelong deathbed memories will be like on the bus after we won the league in the island, and like we drink a bottle of whiskey on the bus on the way home, and like that shit was funny, and like we had some good times and like team nights out and whatever. Wicked. But as you said, mate, like the culture wasn't necessarily something new. Like we learnt it from people before us. They learnt it from people before them. And I kind of wanted to touch on, like, we spoke about it a little bit off camera, but something's changed. It's definitely within sport anyway, or within ice hockey, like the sport that we're around. Something's changed because in our last years playing, the young kids coming through weren't doing it.
No. But do you know what, mate, as well? Like so I've learned a lot from dive. It was a couple of layers. It was like, one, I've seen my dad in that like awful way. Yeah. And I've had to be there for him, and I've seen stuff that I don't want to see.
You've seen like the worst of it, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen like what it does, I guess is the easiest way to say it. And then I've also felt the like knock-on effect about what it is. Like my dad became very selfish and behaved in a way that like caused a lot of hurt to me. And at the same time, where he did that, and that became really like hard to like not ignore. Ignore. I just always wanted to be there for him, basically. I knew he was ill. I knew he was struggling. Yeah. And I always wanted to be there. And his struggles has gone on for such a long time. Yeah. But by knowing that, that shifted my attitude. There's also the element of like, you're epileptic, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Like having a drink, like I should like dial it back. But then also like, when I found out that I was having a baby, like Ellie wasn't drinking, so I was like, well, I won't drink. I'm not going to make you like just do this. And then it became like I felt like I was representing the charity. Yeah. And I like my attitude changed it. And then I started to learn stuff, and I was learning more and more. And maybe like I was just listening to you then, I was thinking like maybe like where you're saying about the lessons and things, and where you were like consciously thinking about things. I think that's probably where I'm at with booze. Okay. Is like I don't know where I stand with it, because I look back at our memories and I'm like, oh, like yeah, they're good, but I don't know how many of them I remember. Yeah, because that is a part of it, yeah. Like for me, I know that if I have one or two drinks, that's fine. But I know that normally I'll get the buzz for it and then just keep going. Yeah. I would like to think that I could say I didn't at any point in my life have a problem with drink. Yeah. But looking back on it, who knows? I was just having this conversation. And like, what's defined as a problem? I was literally just having this conversation earlier on today. Someone was asking me directly about sort of because like I'm not drinking now and whatever, and they were like, do you think it was a problem for you? I'm going to try my best to explain this. I don't know if I'm going to make any sense, right? So bear with me. Yeah. I did not have a problem with alcohol, but I would make alcohol a problem for me. So like, it wasn't like I had any sort of dependency on alcohol. I did not need it. Yeah. But I most definitely wanted it at times, because I thought that by having it, it would enhance experiences or make me probably at times more confident, or like I thought it would be solutions to external problems in my life. Yeah. But I didn't ever at any point in my life feel that I needed alcohol to like get through. Like, for example, if I would have went to a social event and they were like, oh, all the alcohol's gone, I wouldn't have been like, oh my God, no. Like, I'd have just been like, oh, all right, like, that's a bit shit. Do you know what I mean? But
and this, I think this makes it almost to some degree worse. Like, I consciously made decisions to just be a twat, basically, with alcohol.
Yeah.
And I...
But I see, so like, I'm not, to interrupt you, like,
No.
I do think that's part of that, like, identity. And
Yeah,
like,
probably,
and
bro,
like
yeah.
people
I
being
agree,
like,
yeah.
oh, do you remember last time that you did this? And you know that you got laughs and like, not now, like, but when you were like younger,
Yeah, yeah.
I think like, like when you're 20, you think you're
You're the kiddie, yeah.
yeah. And then you just try and like build on that. And I look back at now, there's some of the stuff that I did. I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
Like, why did I do that? And like, I went to America and lived there for 2 years, and we did some nut stuff there. But I'm like, in terms of like experiences, but I know that like 3 or 4 big events, like I just got like blacked out, like drunk beyond what I needed to.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I did that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, mate.
You just get like, but I know I probably am reflecting on it too much because of all the stuff that's gone on. But even then, reflecting on it is probably not, it's never a bad thing, is it? To be like consciously thinking of it.
100%. And I think like being able to self-reflect it shows that like you're willing to admit to yourself where like you've said like, why did I do that? What twat? Like you're effectively able to call yourself out. Whereas again, I think like unfortunately so many people would rather just grab another beer and suppress it and be like, oh, I don't want to open that door.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Again, it's like grieving, mate. Like it's hard to call yourself out on stuff. But like for me, like I had, I literally listened to something and they were talking a little bit about like substance abuse and addiction and like dependency, but they actually started speaking about coffee, right? Weirdly, and they were just the question was, they were like, how do you know that you don't have a problem with something if you've never tried to stop consuming it?
Yeah.
And they were talking about caffeine and coffee, and they were just like, how many times a day do you drink coffee? And they were like, oh, like 2-3 times a day. And they were like, when was the last time you didn't drink coffee? And they were like, I can't remember. And they were just like, so are you addicted to coffee or not? And they were like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And I listened to that conversation and I was like, that's interesting. Like there's so many things in my life that I guess technically I could be. Yeah, and I started to question. And naturally, obviously, like the first one for me that comes to your head is like alcohol, right? So I started to think on that. And this was prior to my nan was starting to get very unwell, and this was during COVID. She started to go downhill quite dramatically, and my mum needed me to be available to help more, basically. And my mum had never like outwardly told me that, but like I'm not an idiot, and like I could see that my mum was like starting to struggle, right? So like I knew that I should have to do that. And I worked all through COVID. I worked the Friday. I finished work at 2:00. I had my 9 hours rest, and I went back to work at like midnight, 12:30ish, something like that. And then I worked from, let's just say midnight through to about 9 a.m. Finished work. This was a Saturday morning, 9 a.m. I came home, and naturally, first thing I did, as I always did when I finished work, was went to the fridge and grabbed a beer. But obviously it's 9 a.m. And I'm like, oh yeah, but it's Saturday and it's COVID, and I've just worked like 24 hours straight, like effectively or whatever, right? And I was just like, that's all right. So I had a beer, and then Hardy was like, oh, we need to go shopping. So we went shopping, and I bought 2 bottles of rum when we went shopping. And when I came home, Rich Loya, for anyone watching or listening, did an episode with Rich. You can check that out. But Rich FaceTimed me, and I was putting the shopping away, and I was like, oh mate, I just bought these 2 bottles of rum. And he was like, oh, are you drinking them today? I was just like, yeah, you ring me back at after 12 and I bet you I've drunk one of these bottles. And again, it's like that competitiveness, like
you want a
badge of honor sort of thing. And effectively, like, I'm genuinely not proud of it, but I dusted off this bottle of rum in like, not like just over an hour and a half, right? It's like disgusting amount of booze that I drank in that time. And obviously I was shit-faced, and I ended up throwing up, and Hardy basically then had to just look after me. And my mum rang because my mum basically needed help with my nan.
Yeah.
And Hardy had to go because I was in the state. And the next day I woke up and I was just like, what a prick.
Yeah.
Like what, like I'd already told myself that like I need to be around more. And then I did, like, for no reason. Like absolutely no, but there is a reason. I was like suppressing the fact that like my nan was getting really sick, and like I knew what was going to happen, but I just didn't want to admit it to myself, and I basically was just being a pussy, and I didn't want to like live up to it, and I did that, and then Hardy obviously come home, and then like I had threw up, and she had to clean it up, and I was just like, what am I doing? And literally then like from that point, obviously then I had listened to that podcast like a day or two before. And I was just like, I literally, the Sunday morning, said to Hardy, like, I threw out all the beers and stuff I had in the fridge. I tipped them all down the sink. And as you probably remember me, like, my fridge was always full of beers and stuff. And then we had every bottle of spirits that was opened, regardless of how much was in it. I poured it all away. And my rule genuinely used to be like, and like again, like sort of laugh, like this mine and my mum's thing. We always used to say, if something really bad happens and the world is going to end, you've got to make sure you've got a minimum of 6 months worth of booze in the house. That was like our die-hard rule. So like I had plenty of booze in the house, and like I tipped it all away, and then I didn't drink for 9 months.
Yeah.
And basically, like 3 days in, I was just like, oh, I know I'm sweet with booze. Because not once, because I just said to myself, like, I'm not going to drink. 3 days in, I hadn't thought about it once. I come home from work, just didn't go in the fridge. And I was like, oh, like, I'm good with this. But then it's like that realization of like, oh, I've just been a fucking idiot since 15 to 27. Yeah. Like, 12 years, I've just been a fucking idiot in regards to alcohol. And that for me was like the change. Like instantly, that 9 months I did sober, and don't get me wrong, it probably helped a little bit that it was like the tail end of COVID. So then like we weren't super social.
Yeah.
So then by the time everything started opening up and all the social events come round, I was like so deep into being sober that I didn't. Maybe it would be different if I tried to do it like in normal times. I don't know. But I didn't feel the urge to want to drink. And then when I did start drinking a little bit, I would have like 1 or 2, and I was just like, I just like don't want it. Yeah. Like I basically said to myself, like, I don't ever want to get to the point of like binge drinking, I guess. Like I didn't ever want to do that again. Basically because of how shit I felt. I felt as if I had let everyone down around me because of it. Yeah. It's weird how that plays out, but like for me it's like like I had to fuck up that one time, and like my mum and Hardy and stuff, like they're over it, but like that still annoys me, like that day. Do you know what I mean? And that was a very long way of me trying to ask you sorry, that was a very long way of me trying to ask you, like, how now do you feel just generally about alcohol? Like, do you ever think that it will be like, for lack of a better term, like a big part of your life? Or
no, like 100%. Like we went on holiday the other day, like all inclusive, like drink as much as you want.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of days I barely touched it. Like I think I had like a glass of wine.
Did you feel as if you were drinking almost because like
do you know,
almost like you had to?
So we were both saying that we're like, there's an element of like 2 or 3 days in, I had like a couple of drinks. I was like, I literally didn't need them.
Yeah.
It's just because it was all inclusive. But like if you like, and then I went to Chicken Wing Festival.
Yeah.
Big up Gert Wings.
Yeah.
And then like, I went there, and then like I knew, like, that was the first time, like, in ages that I just let loose and had, like, a couple of beers. But I knew, like, after two, I was drinking more than I needed. Like, I was like, I don't. And so for me, I've had, like, beers and, like, because I want to drive, like, a massive part of me is, like, I don't know if I'm doing my dad a disservice or not, but, like, I remember playing with my dad loads, like, when we were, like, 11, 10, like, around about that age. I remember, like, really distinctly dad playing football, whatever. But I remember lots of times of me, like, wanting dad to be there, and he wasn't.
Right.
Or, like, he was there, but that's unfair. He was there, but he wasn't what you needed.
Right.
Because he was probably boozed up, or because he wanted to get boozed up. And whatever, and however that looked, because if I'm honest, even now, me and Ollie don't really know. We know it's bad because obviously he's not here now.
Yeah.
But I don't know to the scale, and I don't know. I don't know, basically. But like for me, it's so important that if Ellie says like you need to come back for Bonnie, or if that exactly what you're talking about, that feeling of like you need to be there.
Yeah.
Like I will never ever ever have a moment where Bonnie's like there and I can't do it, and the reason is like obviously that will happen, but I don't want that reason to be because of booze.
Yeah, yeah. That was a much better way of explaining that than what I just tried to do.
Yeah, because that like I've only explained it that way because you've teed me up. But
yeah,
like I just don't want to have that feeling ever. Like,
yeah,
like I can't have that feeling. And so now like I might go and have one, and even then I'm like, if I'm having one, I'm just gonna have a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah,
and I think the first I did have a few anyway, like when Dad was like with us but unwell. Just because my attitude changed. I think I've just been more mindful of it since he's been sick.
Yeah.
Since he was sick, sorry. And then when he passed, I was like there's a side of it which is I want to look after myself. I want Bonnie to grow old and have me around. And some of it you can't control, but there are things like drinking booze, which we know is bad for you.
Yeah.
And is doing damage to you. Don't drink it.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I'm in that stage where I'm a bit confused and thinking about it, but I know that I've massively reduced drinking, and like I'm making it sound like I drank a lot. Like certainly in my early 20s, I did a bit of binge drinking, which probably a lot of people do. But like even like one after work or something like that. Like now it would be a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
Or I feel. Do you know some of it is like this feels mad to say. Is confident in yourself.
Yeah.
To be, I'll have a Coke.
Yeah.
And not care what you're going to order.
Yeah.
And I think there's been so many times, especially since this has been going on, where you've ordered a beer and then I've gone, oh, I can have a beer. But I didn't want that beer. I've just said it because you've got one.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted a soft drink or a non-alcoholic one. But I've got it because the person next to me has said that, or I know they're going to give me a bit of grief.
Yeah. Mate, I'll hold my hands up to this. Like and again, I think it's you don't know what you don't know, and not maybe, and definitely to some degree, there's just like a level of ignorance with it because I was young. But I have most definitely, and probably not just once, been buying drinks at a bar for someone, like at a pub or something, and somebody said, "Oh, I'll have a non-alcoholic beer," and I've said, "Well, fuck that, buy your own."
Yeah.
I have like hand on heart said that. Mate.
Yeah, and mate, like, but then like I know now, like, and I'm saying this, but like I know looking back, I can think of like people who I've given a bit of stick to.
Yeah.
And some of it, it's like some people I've given stick to, they don't drink, and I've given them, and I've almost twisted their arm into and kept going at them until they drank.
Yeah.
But why, like, but that's not. I know that I'm not the only person. And I'm not saying that to like make what I've said is okay. I'm saying it because I've learnt that from someone.
Yeah.
I've learnt it from people.
Yeah.
And also, I actually do think it's a British thing.
Yeah.
I would say like European culture is different around, and they're like
their relationship with alcohol is very different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a mental like.
Do you know? I actually
a mental thing that we've learned. But one thing I will say like is from learning about alcohol change and like really like. Obviously, Instagram is like, it can be like a bad place. But because we were just doing the ride, we were just following people who were representing the charity,
Yeah.
or they were doing good stuff similar.
Just like like-minded people, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the algorithm on that page was like all good stuff.
Yeah.
And you were like, fuck me, this actually could be like such a good place.
Yeah.
And then you were seeing all these people who were, so you were seeing people and like, it is changing. And like, I had a really good chat, and like, I would definitely recommend to go there is the Bristol Beer Factory.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah, because they do like the non-alcoholic in like the yellow can or whatever.
And
yeah,
that's their second biggest seller.
Yeah, mad.
And the lady there was like incredible. Like she spent loads of time, and she was like, "What can we do to help you?" And how that's come about. Like they don't. I didn't know this, and like we're from Bristol. Like being in the pubs. Like I know lots of people who like love the chat, love that like pale ale chat.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know any of this, and basically it's come from someone set up something just for people to talk, and then so it's called Talk Club, and then from there like it came up, and then it kind of like built on, and then in COVID it generated from there, and like so there's like more to the story, but it generated from there, and basically that club like kind of were like, we need somewhere with these people have got stuff, they want to talk about it, but they don't want to link it to booze.
Yeah.
So you need to bring out like a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
And then that's where it come from.
Yeah, it's mental.
The reason why I'm saying that is like it's now like if a beer factory is coming, like is getting behind it, and it's their second biggest seller.
Yeah.
Like people want to change. Like it is definitely happening. And there's not many places now you go to who won't have a non-alcoholic.
Mate, it's like that, like Spencer Matthews, like he used to be on Made in Chelsea or whatever. Like that guy's like super controversial, and I think I respect the guy a lot. He's very open about like, honestly, for lack of a better term, how much of a bellend he was in his like younger years, and honestly, like I relate to how he used to act a lot.
Yeah.
But like he's now got that like non-alcoholic, like he's like sober now and like does all these ultra marathons and whatever. Basically I'm just trying to beat him, but he's got like that non-alcoholic spirit brand and stuff, and it's like now you're starting to see. Before, like you said, it would be like, I don't know, there'd be like Peroni, and they have like a non-alcoholic option that they don't push, they don't advertise, they don't, it's just there in the background, or Guinness or whatever. And now there's like brands coming out that are specifically like, we're just non-alcoholic, which I think is super cool. But then there's also like, which I think is wicked, and maybe this is like why things are starting to change a little bit, but then at all the sporting events, it's like, Guinness Zero sponsors it, not Guinness.
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And like,
but even that is like such a tiny shift, but massive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I want to ask you, like, I personally, I looked at the science of this a little bit when I stopped drinking. Well, when I first stopped drinking for that 9 months, and then afterward, then like my nan died and stuff, and I didn't want to go back to drinking, but I was just like, kind of, a bit like you, like, I'll have a drink if we're out somewhere or whatever. And I just had like one or two, and I was like, I don't really want more, like I'm good. So then I was like, I'm just going to stick on the non-alcoholics, because I've been drinking non-alcoholics for like 9 months anyway, and they were fine. So like, I'll just carry on. And I looked at the science of it, and it effectively is something like, there's like, you have like triggers. So the same thing happens with like cocaine addiction or like whatever it is. But when you say, for example, when you walk into a pub, your brain has like releases dopamine, because it's like, oh, we're going to get alcohol now, right? So then you have like the first one or two, and your brain no longer releases dopamine. It's like over the fact that you're getting alcohol.
Yeah.
I guess it for everyone is slightly different, but then your brain starts to shift, and you start to go from releasing dopamine in anticipation for the alcohol to your brain starting to crave more alcohol.
Yeah.
And what I found is early on, I would walk into pubs and stuff, and I probably would get some sort of dopamine release to be like, oh, we're going to get a drink. But then I'd have one or two non-alcoholic drinks, And because there was no alcohol in it, my brain didn't crave it. And then very quickly I was like, oh, I'm bored of this now. And literally I'd be like, oh, should we go or like go do something else? Or like, can we just do something other than drink more fucking non-alcoholics? And I think what happened for me is as I started to go out and socialise more and go to more pubs and bars, I wasn't getting that initial dopamine because my brain was just like, oh, well, nothing happens in here anymore. And it like broke that habit for me. And because I haven't gone wild since, I no longer get that. I guess for me, and I don't know for you, but like, I guess I started that super young, like at school, like going to parties on like a Friday after school or like going to the park, drinking with my mates. And I think it was like at the time, not so much the fact that necessarily like, it wasn't about the drink, it was about the fact that like we were probably doing something that technically I wasn't supposed to, and that released dopamine. That was exciting. And I think for me that's probably how the habit started. I've like thought super deeply on it, but like when did alcohol start becoming fun for you? Do you think?
Do you know what? For me, it's always been a thing. If I have one or two drinks, if I go on a night out, if I'm being completely honest, there was always a fear factor for me because of the epilepsy.
Yeah.
And then it was probably realistically it would be for me. It would be have two drinks and then that fear factor's gone.
Yeah, like and the boozers give you.
So that was like the leads off now. Like go run
right.
away.
Okay, that's interesting.
Probably.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I haven't really I've never really thought about it. I just know that, like, you've seen me in a couple of states as well. Like, it's just, I've just gone too far.
Oh, mate, I've been there with you, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know really is the answer to that.
Fair.
Yeah.
What I did want to ask you is, now that obviously like you're not drinking so much and stuff, how is it for you, like, drinking non-alcoholics? Like at any point drinking non-alcoholics, do you feel like you want to drink the real stuff?
No, not at all.
No, because I asked that not so much for me, but maybe for anyone listening, just because like I think a lot of people's fear is like, oh, if I start drinking, like I think people think that, and maybe some people do, it's like you can't go anywhere near alcohol or anything that resembles alcohol because it could be a trigger, right? And that's fair, like that's definitely a group of people. But I think for the vast majority of people, in my experience, that probably do have some sort of problem with alcohol, may not be a dependency, but it's just a problem in some aspects. It's very easy to like make that switch, I found. Like I really didn't find it that hard.
I don't know. I think that one's like, it's tricky to answer because I think when I went on the radio, I tried explaining because I feel quite, I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Because you don't know every single person's situation is like completely different, and you don't know what the triggers are, like you said. You don't know what the reason is. Like for me, it was just like maybe it was because the lead was off and I stopped panicking about it. Yeah. But I've literally never thought about any of that stuff until we've just started talking now.
Fair.
Like I've never thought about like being scared of drinking.
Yeah.
But that probably is the reality of it. I think like for me, it was almost like a mentality switch for me. It was like, I'm going to go and have, one was that whole like dad and seeing him unwell. One was like representing the charity and I wanted to take that really seriously. Yeah. And I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to feel bad. I kind of almost did feel bad for having a drink when I knew what I was doing. Yeah. And I was asking people my goal was to raise as much money as possible. And I felt bad trying to ask people to raise money. Yeah, and then you're drinking. When I was representing that charity and drinking. Then it was also because Ellie was pregnant, I wanted to be there for her. Then it was also like if I went socialising with her, she wasn't drinking, so I was like, well, I'll make sure that I'm doing the same, like just out of like, I don't know, courtesy. Yeah. But also with all of that stuff already in the back of my mind. And then it was also like, Bonnie's here now, and I'm not going to do like I'm going to write my own like history with that.
Yeah.
Like being a dad. So it's just, I don't know, it's a weird one for me because it's just lots of things.
I think it quite often is though, mate. I think it's like, one thing almost like sets the spark, and then it's, as you said earlier, it's almost like a chain reaction of things that then get you to where you are now.
So I guess to answer your question, like for me, because of the way that my attitude to drinking, it was like a mentality thing. So it's like, oh, I'm going to have one. All right. So a few times I had one beer, but then I was like, if I'm just having one, what's the point?
Yeah.
Because normally I'd have, if I'm going to drink, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
But then I'd be like, well, if I'm only having one, I might as well have one non-alcohol. Then I'd be like, oh, I'm going to have two. But then I was like, well, if I'm only having two,
again, I might as well just.
I might as well have two non-alcoholics and then I can drive.
Yeah, that's
or I might as well have one. And then if I'm having one, I might as well have a non. It's like, do you know, like I sound repetitive, but that was kind of how I was like, my whole mentality towards it
changed. And I think it's worth noting, like the non-alcoholics are good.
And so earlier, like I was thinking about like what we were saying and you were saying about the signage and stuff like that. Like going to the bar now, and I do feel confident in myself. I do feel happy to go and order whatever I want.
Yeah.
And if I order a non-alcoholic, people be like, "Oh, have you got that one? Yeah, it's good, isn't it?" Like people are.
The culture's changed, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's changing.
And it's people who I know like a drink.
Yeah.
And they still do, but they're still having non-alcoholics.
Yeah.
Whereas before, in our 20s, the people that like a drink, like us, would give them grief.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's positive, like it's changing, but I feel like it's a tricky one to answer. I feel like everyone's story, everyone's reason.
Yeah, it's very different.
Either for drinking and their triggers. I don't think it's like a black and white thing. Like I would feel uncomfortable to say like, Sam's drinking a non-alcoholic, but it is for me. But it doesn't mean it's going to be for everyone. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I just want to touch on quickly. I think as when you said there about like you now feel confident enough to like go to the bar and just order whatever you want to order.
Yeah, it sounds stupid when you say it, doesn't it?
Not at all, mate. No. I think probably, mate, a big part of that is when we were younger, like in our 20s and stuff, as much as we might have been like outwardly confident, there's still a part that no young man in their early 20s probably wants to admit, is that they actually are very, in a lot of ways, self-conscious and stuff. Yeah. So then, like for us, definitely like with ice hockey, we could have been like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 playing hockey with men that are like 30, 35, 40 sometimes. It would have been hard for me to speak up as an 18-year-old. And look, I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't even want to speak up. I wanted to go drink and do all of that stupid stuff. At the time I did, right? Yeah, but if I didn't want to do it, it would have been hard for me in that environment to say, oh no, I'm going to drink.
And also like with the idea of you saying that the culture's shifted, like now, if a 18-year-old like decent like player coming through, or I shouldn't say decent, like doesn't matter. Yeah. If an 18-year-old player comes through and you're like, do you want a drink? And they say no, like fair enough, mate. Yeah. Like that wouldn't have happened. Yeah. So I guess when we're talking about the culture, like it is changing definitely 100%. In hockey, but I think that's the same as like anywhere. Yeah. Sounds fair enough.
Yeah, I think a big part of that is like we said, like when you start to see like if you're to like Bristol City Ground or like the Premier League or whatever, it's like sponsored by Guinness Zero. Yeah. I guess in some ways it's kind of similar to like when they removed like cigarettes from sponsoring like the Formula One and stuff. Yeah. Like because I remember that as a kid, like that was like outroar when it's like, oh my god, how dare you? Yeah. But then it's like, mate, cigarettes are super bad for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but to be fair, like people, that still isn't a thing though. People don't say that alcohol is bad for you. Like that isn't like, it's still not a thing.
Mate, do you know, so I did an episode the other week, it comes out Tuesday with this woman called Jess, but we were chatting a bit about it, and do you know, like I had never bothered to look at this before, but do you know that it takes 7 days for one alcoholic drink to completely be out your system? Yeah. Right? Mate, like, no wonder it's took me a year to feel better. Yeah. No bullshit. And like some of the stats, mate, are wild. Like, I don't want to get too much into this. I'm conscious of time as well, but like, just quick, I was having a quick look earlier, right, at like some just stats around like how bad just alcohol is. So it's like just some of these I'll rattle off quickly. There's over 600,000 alcohol dependent drinkers in the UK. No, in the UK alone, and 4 out of every 5 of them receive no treatment. Right, which that is astonishing. Basically, 600,000 people that most definitely need help in regards to alcohol and just don't get it. So in 2023, there was 10,000, just shy of 500, 10,500 alcohol-specific deaths in the UK. Now, that's not including, there is many, many more hundreds of thousands, which is like alcohol-related, but like purely alcohol-specific.
Yeah.
That's up over 3,000 people from 2017. So it's still trending upwards, which even though society's shifting, it's still trending upwards, which is mad to me. Alcohol effectively cost the NHS last year 4.9 billion in treatment costs due to alcohol. And I think like that one for me, like £5 billion is going towards treating people effectively because they're either not educated about alcohol or they just are really struggling with it. Like, you know, like addiction's a real thing. How, I don't really know, like, where do we start to like really make a big change in that? Like, obviously you're a teacher, right? So like, do you think more needs to be done at an educational level at school? Because to my knowledge, like when I was at school, like we never got taught about like the dangers or risks of alcohol.
No, it's so hard to put your finger. Like, I mean, I think it's a cultural and like society thing where people need to be like, if you're not having a drink, that's sound, like that's fine. I think like that's one thing. But I mean, I've just made that like.
No, but you know,
if
you're
you
right.
Clip that, you've like done like a thing. There has to be education. That has to be a thing. But I don't think it's stressed you enough in secondary school. Like I don't know, A, if I was listening, or B, if it was like a thing that was said to us about drink. But then also you're a young teenager and you know that drinking or getting drunk is cool. So if you're a teacher and you're in secondary school and you're already, probably like you want to get that message received to them. It's the culture that's got to change, because otherwise you're going to be a 15, 16-year-old impressionable teenager going, shut up, mate. Yeah. Drinking's cool.
Yeah. And I guess it's like...
So it's getting it before that. So even these 15, 16-year-olds are not getting that message.
Yeah.
So I presume it's there, but then for the education to work, you have to change, because we know it. I knew it when I was 20 that drinking's not good for you.
Yeah.
But I still did
it, yeah.
So maybe like a big cultural thing, but I don't know how that would happen or what that would look like.
I think, no, mate, like...
But, and sorry, mate, the like you talk about the money that we're putting on treating people, and then the 600, I think, did you say 600,000 people?
Yeah.
Who are, and that's I don't know like what the figure is, you'd have to like look into it more, but like, I imagine it's more.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
There's so many people who I know have like had periods of time who've struggled with drink, or like who, like, do you know what I mean? That figure could be way more.
Yeah,
like we could talk about it like a lot, and that figure could be a lot higher. They have either, like, I know that Dad went to the GP. I don't know what happened. Don't know what it was about. Like when he passed away, we were given like parts of his records, and I don't know, like, that's probably not usual protocol, but like we were given a piece of paper that had it on.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that cut us like hard, like really hard. And it took me like a long time, probably like a good couple of weeks to like really get over it. No, that's bollocks. Like I'm not over it.
No, yeah.
Yeah, like the fact that he, like, I mean, I literally looked at it and just cried.
Yeah.
Like he'd been to the doctor, and I just couldn't understand 30 years ago, like when I was born, or like around it, and it said alcohol dependence. And then he'd been like multiple times after. And I was like, well, why? Like, that is the point. Like, but that's just Dad. Like, I don't know about other people. And Dad obviously sought some sort of help or was made to go there. Whatever the reason was, he went.
And didn't get it, basically.
And it hasn't stopped it. But there's also, like I said earlier, like the triggers and your reasons. Like, I don't know what Dad's reason was. I don't know what it was that he hit, the demons that he was facing.
Yeah.
But it never got tackled. And yeah, like it's probably a cultural and society thing, but it's also the help. But I don't think the trouble is helping people is so difficult because I don't think the answer is always just like I've watched a lot of stuff, and it's not as easy just to be like, just go sober, mate.
Yeah.
Like that works for some people, but for other people it's just not that straightforward.
Yeah. I guess maybe this is a good way to sort of wrap it up, mate. Like, on that, for anyone that maybe like is like struggling or at least maybe questioning themselves or thinking like, maybe do I need to make a change or something, like, do you have any advice for them? Do you like, or any words of wisdom or anything?
Like I would definitely say like the first port of call would be like alcohol change.
Yeah.
Because they are not preachy. They're like, it's about education. That's like one of their big things is education. It's about changing your lifestyle. And they give you facts and figures. They ask you questions, and they've got like questionnaires and stuff on there for you to like kind of realize like how much is deemed safe, or like the units and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I can't vouch for them enough. And I wish that I found them earlier, but they don't specifically help you. They are like, they offer you in the right direction.
Yeah,
and they have people there who can, this is what your need is. Okay, they'll offer you.
Yeah, and they provide you with the resources and stuff.
Yeah, like they won't leave you hanging, but they'll like, yeah, they're not. What I'm trying to say is they're not the people that counsel you.
Yeah.
But they have loads of resources and stuff on their website. Like, it's really good.
Mate, just for anyone watching, I obviously, before you came here earlier, I sort of had a look at their website and stuff, and they've got a bit on there which is like a quiz about like your alcohol usage and stuff.
Yeah.
And I answered it hand on heart truthfully of like how I used to drink. And now I don't know, like, but if anyone watches this, I'd encourage you, I'll put the link in the description to their website, but go and do the quiz. And my score on the quiz was 19. And I think it said that I was like very high risk or something. Now, I don't know what that would be in relation to like a lot of people, but I'm saying that just for reference. If anybody is curious enough to go see what their score is and see what Alcohol Change recommends off the back of it, for reference, my score was a 19.
Yeah. But and that's like I mean, like, fair play to you, mate, like for doing that, because I think a lot of people just ignore it. And
but I've made peace with it, I think.
But and I think that comes to us like saying now, like you said, like we're confident with like who we were and who we are. But yeah, I just think that the way that they do it, and that's why Dad would have, if it clicked, it would have been them, because they don't, for want of a better word, like ram it down your throat about being sober.
Yeah,
it's like small changes, and then those small changes, which is kind of the way that I have got to where I'm at. Yeah, is small changes have led me to being like, oh, hang on a minute, like maybe I'll.
It's the 1%, mate. Yeah, their approach to it, I think, is really refreshing, actually, to be honest, because I think my knowledge of what was out there previously, like when we were younger, or the resources that people think that are typically available are very, using AA as an example, I don't want to put anybody off like going to AA or anything like that, but my knowledge of it is like, it's like if you come to AA, like you don't drink, like that's it. Like,
well, it's like
like zero substances.
TV, isn't it? Basically, is what most people's viewpoint from it is, just like it's TV.
Yeah.
And it's like you sit in a circle, you share things, and that is perfect for some people.
Yeah.
It's also not. It's like some people's idea of hell.
And also, I think there's a lot of people in like a grey area.
Yeah.
Where maybe like they don't. Maybe we were that grey area. I don't know. It's not necessarily like we had like a dependency on it, but if we didn't make a change,
We'd be in trouble.
we would have been in a lot of trouble in 10, 15 years.
And and so I think they've like where they've pitched it is perfect because it can help anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've like alcohol change would be the first place, and then for me, I would say the second thing that I can only comment on personally is just being confident to do, like, knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Ultimately, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
They might give you a bit of grief, but then that grief will go after a few times
Yeah.
because they're just like, oh, that's what he's having.
Yeah. And I think ultimately as well on that, like if they actually do care that much, then they've probably got bigger battles themselves, and it's like their own insecurities that they're probably like outwardly like putting on you.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I think like the thing that I would feel most comfortable is being like alcohol change. Yeah. But for me, it's like be confident in yourself to be like, which is not a straightforward thing. That takes like obviously there's, as we've chat like during the time that we've been talking, there's lots of things that have happened that have made me feel confident. Whereas like now my main motivation is Bonnie. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want. I'm having this so that I'm here for her. Yeah. There for her. Yeah. Fuck off. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I think just knowing what you want and being confident in it, and if they're true mates, like fuck them. Yeah.
Mate, thanks. This was good. I think I genuinely believe, mate, that like people will get value from this, and I guess for everyone watching and listening, sorry that we've sort of bounced around the houses a bit, but like...
Yeah, that's me.
Nah, and me, mate. There was just a lot of points there and a lot of things to cover, and mate, I could go on another 2 hours chatting about this. But mate, I just want to like reiterate again, I think what you and your brother did is class. The money you raised, mate, and just like you speaking about this, because like I know it's hard for you to chat about, and like I'm not saying this to pump your tires, I'm just saying this because like it's the truth, mate. And your dad would be super proud. I know your mum's super proud of you. Well, and your brother, not just you. And mate, ultimately, like your little girl is gonna be so proud of you, mate. Because like as I said, well, and as you've said, you made this change not just for yourself, but for her, and like that's fucking beautiful, mate. Like genuinely. But yeah, thanks for doing it, man. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Sweet.
Thank you, mate.
All good?
Yeah.